it all looks really good, but what I would do is her teddy bear that's sitting down by the tree. I did a little sketch, and I think I would make it looking more like a teddy bear. And when I first looked at this, when it's big, when it's big, and it's roaring, the first time I saw it, I thought it looks like a man in a bear suit. And
Okay.
if the teddy bear has grown up, if it's kind of like come to life as a teddy bear, I did. This is like like maybe have the teddy bear leaning, like a teddy bear would lean if you just set it down and lean on
Yes.
something. They kind of like lay over, their
Yeah.
heads lay over,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
kind of give it a little more action there, like it's laying over like a teddy bear. And then when it's big, I mean, I saw that she on her face, she's trying to make it look mean, and I saw like the eyebrows, kind of like angled down, but it didn't look quite. She has its tongue hanging out, and that just didn't look mean with its tongue hanging out. So yeah, see, it looks almost more like it's kind of smiling at the ghost and everything. And if she could, if it's roaring, maybe it could, and make it and look more like a bear instead of a man in a bear suit. It's like
Yeah.
grown up teddy bear now.
A little more action with
Yeah,
yours, and it's more of a gestural. And this other one hers is pretty static. The one gesture of the bear, the creatures being frightened are pretty gestural and fun.
yeah, yeah. I like the creatures. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
the bear just needs to look more
like he's in the middle of
kind of,
action.
So
Yeah.
that's what I did for that.
Cool. Okay, great.
And
Great.
that,
This is great.
that's not that big of a change.
The child poking around the tree is fun.
Let's see. Yeah, and the little girl and the cat climbing up the tree, I like that.
Yeah.
And the cat, fine.
Okay.
And she could still do that, as she's shown the teddy bear and has it growing, I like that.
Here's the other image of the
Yeah, I
kids'
saw that
ones.
one too. Yeah. And see that teddy bear looks good,
Yeah, he's in action. He's in gesture action.
Yeah. So when that one grows up, it would look like that, only big, and look like a real bear with a big belly and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. That's good.
Great. You're giving some great help.
And then let's see, who had let's see, there was one with there was one with a raccoon that has a teddy bear riding on the back.
Yeah. Doug's image.
Now that is like really good. The only thing he needs to watch out for is if this is like an 8.5 or a 9 by 11 book. If the gutter's right there, then his book is like really skinny. It needs to be, his proportions are off.
The assignment was a 2-page spread.
Yeah.
So
if he would just like, spread it out.
Or he could crop this.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like the way it's cropped right now.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. But everything on that, I mean, the illustration's great. It's just the proportions off.
The aspect ratio of the scene.
Yeah.
Not the proportion of the creatures or anything.
No, just the proportion for it to be a spread.
A 2-page spread.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. If it was a horizontal, there'd be nothing wrong with just cutting that raccoon right down the middle, would there be? The gutter?
No, because if you're cutting something if you're putting something in the gutter, you don't want it to be anything important. So it's like the middle of the raccoon.
Yeah.
And I can see this being a spread and not having any text on it. Like the text would be on the page before, and the kid would turn the page, and then here you got this great big picture of this raccoon with the teddy bear riding on the back of it. And I mean, the color.
Magical
Yeah, and the color on the raccoon, there, I mean, the rendering and everything, that's like perfect.
Yes.
And then I like the way that the sky goes from the dark blue, kind of a blue violet, down to a red violet.
Transitions into that warmer
Yeah,
color close to the horizon. And the variations in the brightness of the little magical,
yeah. And the
fireflies.
bamboo and everything, it's just
Yeah.
composed. Everything's composed like really well on that. So
Let's see if Doug is here real fast. Doug, I don't know. I don't know if he's here.
that's not the proportion for a spread, unless you're doing
Got it.
a skinny book, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do the alligator thing there.
Oh, the alligator. Let's see. This is Francis in the
Well,
Austin chapter.
crocodile or an alligator.
Yes.
Yeah,
These are cut paper.
Cracker Jack's
Okay.
Christmas Snow. Yeah, that
Yes.
one.
From
All it,
the Gulf.
all that one. I thought all that one needs is some of the little paper clippings, the paper snippets. Put some down. Put some more down here on the table, like right in that.
Like it would be.
Yeah, like right in that area there, and that's all that needs. Because, I mean, I like the alligator's face, and the concept of having him chew out the design with his teeth. That's so good. That's another big thing is that because I was a designer, a graphic designer for years, I think I go concept first. That's the first thing I think about. And when I went to the illustrator's workshop, they said, you can do any style you want. If you've got a good concept, you can make it work.
By concept, you mean the idea?
Yeah, the idea.
Yeah. Because it has to be really clever.
They said technically, you can get away with, not having something that's technically good, but your concept is so good that it works. And technically, this is good, and it's got a great concept to it. This one's really good.
Yeah, would you make a mailer of this if you were?
Oh yeah, I would just add some more little paper snippets down here.
More little paper snips, because that would be the way it would be.
You're gonna find in the air like snowflakes, but there would also be some like right in here, and that's
right under his mouth,
right there. I mean, that's perfect.
Okay, all right. Let me zoom back a little bit so you can see everything.
Let's see. You can go to let's see, John. Okay, on that one. The one thing, I don't know if he's there or not, but when I first looked at this, I thought, he looks too old.
The baby's face?
The baby's face looks too old, and there's one thing that he can get rid of that will make the baby's face look younger. It's the lines that come from the nose down to the corner of his mouth, right there, and then on the same line on the other one, like where it comes from his nose, like these wrinkles right here.
Oh, yeah, right here. I'm about to pull you up. I just want to make.
Okay. If he gets rid of those lines, that will make the boy look younger. Make his smile needs to be just a little bit smaller. And I drew a little sketch. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, see that right there. I kind of played around with that.
So the corners of his mouth, they're coming. If you take the ends of his mouth, run them up. They're just about at the middle of his smaller.
But I got rid of those wrinkles. I got rid of those lines that come from his nose. And that made him look younger, just right then. And then on the umbrella, since he's flying through the air, I was thinking, well, maybe have the umbrella, the shaft on the umbrella, instead of having it straight, having it bend a little bit. And you can kind of see I did a couple here where... where is it? There it is. I did one here.
Hold the sketch up just a little bit higher. I'm missing it.
Let me get over here.
It's reverse. It's like you're seeing it. Yeah, go the other way. It's like doing just the opposite of what you think. Okay.
There it is.
Yes, there she is. Yeah,
Yeah, if he
there
just
he is.
like kind of bends the shaft of the umbrella a little bit, it'll give it
Yeah.
some movement. It'll look like he's, up in the air more. Then let's see, where's his picture here? And then I thought, so if he just bends the shaft on the umbrella a little bit, gets
Yeah.
rid of the lines up there by going from the like almost the corner of the eye down,
Way
that'll,
up
that'll
here.
make the kid and makes his smile smaller. That'll make the kid look good. And then you always have to be careful when you're putting in teeth. I see he's got some teeth there. Those teeth are okay. But when
Uh-huh.
you're putting in teeth, you got to really be careful because sometimes it looks really weird.
It starts to get into too many lines on a
Yeah.
child's face, right?
And then this area right down here, right underneath the kid, where he's sitting.
Okay.
Yeah, I have like a little thing right here.
Okay.
Okay, right here. Let's see. Where is it? It's right there.
Everything's in reverse.
Oh, right
That's
here.
okay.
Yeah, it's right here. This.
Okay. Now what? That's the monarch butterfly and the.
Yeah,
Oh, you've
he's
got
got three monarchs.
butterflies of different sizes all
He's
around
got
him.
three monarchs, and I thought maybe if he put another monarch bigger, covers up the bottom part of the kid, and some of that water because that's kind of a dead area there, and makes like a bigger monarch. Like right where
Yeah.
right under that kid.
You're blending forms a la Howard Pyle with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and you got things overlapping, and then the kid's in with. It looks more like he's in with like a group of butterflies flying.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to do on that. But it's like
Great
just
tip.
getting rid of those lines to make that kid look younger and make his smile smaller.
I mean, why not immerse him in butterflies?
Yeah.
They're kind of stealing the show from him as
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah.
So very good. All right, good.
And then let's see, where is Kathy Lewis?
Yes.
Okay, for Kathy's, I don't know what her story is, but it's called The Three Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing that I was wondering on this, she's got the bird over here. Now his beak is almost in the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the tip of his beak is almost going to be cut off by the gutter. It looks like a wolf. I think that's a wolf, in a Red Riding Hood cape. And then the raccoon. But she's got them like 1, 2, 3 lined up. And then what I was thinking, like maybe move. Let's see, I did a sketch for hers too.
And you did a lot of work for us. Okay, let's see. Oh, there they are. They're grouped.
Yeah,
You jumped them.
grouped
You
together.
bunched them together.
Let's see.
You grouped them.
There we go.
It makes it more interesting when you.
Yeah,
When you.
and you've got the wolf, you've got the bird, and then you've got the raccoon. Now the thing on her original one, I didn't understand why the wolf is like looking at the green eyes in the background, and the raccoon has its back turned to the green eyes and is looking at the wolf. And I didn't understand why that would be. Why wouldn't the raccoon be looking at the green eyes too? Because the wolf bird are looking at the green eyes. So
Seemed to be.
yeah. So what I did is like, if she would just take the raccoon and put group them together like I've got here, and then I drew like where
Opposite way.
There we go. But I had it for a minute.
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? It's like driving in England. Yeah.
Okay, this raccoon. Let's see, the raccoon that's like right here, that's like nearest to my fingers here. If she just did a raccoon like that you see it, it's from the back. You see him kind of from the back, but he's kind of like looking up at the wolf to see what he's doing. And
yeah, it relates him to the wolf.
Yeah.
And we can see enough of him so that we get a sense of who he is.
Yeah. And you can see his eye, and
Yeah, yes, he's beautifully done. Yeah. So they're all squished into the left side panel, book
Yeah,
page, and then you can put the text and the mysterious spooky eyes in the road in the other side,
let me
and it
find
works
it
just
again.
fine.
Here it is. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. You just got to reverse wire your whole brain to do
This
this.
is like
Yeah. There you go.
there, got it.
Hold still.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, the text could be down
Yeah.
on the road, and then you've got
Yeah.
all those green eyes back in the background, and the
Yeah.
raccoon's like
It's so it's
looking up
clear.
at the wolf, like and the wolf it looks like he's yelling at the green eyes or something, and the bird looks like he's kind of
Yeah.
afraid from the expression she had on his face, and
And you have the bird almost kind of leaning forward towards the eyes too. So he's
yeah,
kind of arching. So there's gesture in all three
yeah.
poses. And this gives us a coherent directional reaction from left to right.
And it's like the name she has is the three heroes. Well, had them
Right.
all like lined up. It was like they weren't together. This way they're together, kind of like a Wizard of
Trio.
Oz kind of deal where they were all going
It
down a
makes us
yellow brick
feel
road
it makes
together.
us feel solidarity with them too
Yeah.
that way. Really cute. Okay.
Catherine Powers. Everything about this is good. The one thing I would have her change or suggest.
Catherine is here.
She is? Okay. The one thing that I would suggest is to, let's see. Let me find. Oh, here we go.
Yes. Catherine says, hello, I'm here.
Oh, hi. Okay. The bat. Bats don't have people feet. And then up here where the wings go in, I know that's probably supposed to be some kind of fur or something, but it almost looks like fingers.
Oh, the little wing things.
Yeah, and bats don't have
I don't know
have
what
fingers.
those are
I mean, their
supposed to be.
fingers are in their wings. I did a little. Well, all you gotta do is go down to Austin under the bridge, change feet, and gave it more like bat feet, and then just took those little things off that looked like fingers to me. And bats are kind of hairy, and I just thought, kind of like hair, but it was mostly the feet. And made it look more like bat feet.
Well, all right. Now, if I were to come back at you and say, well, Mickey Mouse has human feet.
Well, Mickey Mouse has a whole lot of human features too.
we can't really tell what his feet like because he's wearing human shoes, huh?
Yeah.
Catherine, what do you think about that? What do you think about Terry's bat? Let's just... Oh, and she said the little finger projections that was supposed to be fur. I can definitely work on that.
Oh,
she
okay.
says. Chris Perry says, I love baby bats.
Diane says people feet can't hold you upside down. So
okay,
well,
that supports your argument.
The rest of it's great.
I'm going to end screen sharing.
Okay.
Because we've kept you an hour longer than we told you we would.
Oh, that's okay. Do you see me? I see you.
Yeah, I see you. Okay, so we're done screen sharing. Now can you take a couple questions from the group?
Sure.
All right, let's since we've already abused you, so, we might as well just stay in form. Catherine says, thanks, I'll definitely keep working on it. Yeah, I think your bat and Terry's bat have a lot of simpatico with each other. They're a good partnership.
Well, I copied her bat.
Okay, well that's why there was a lot of harmony there, but those bat feet sort of made it.
I was looking at her picture when I drew the bat, so
we've got time for maybe 2 or 3 questions for Terry, and then we got to let him get back to his life. Could you show us the Western painting that you showed us earlier? Now that the camera has sort of stabilized a little more, the Google broadcast, and we'll hold it real still so they can get a sense of it. Now you know how to shift from left to right. There you go. Okay. Acrylic on...
It's on panel. It's on clayboard.
On clayboard, okay.
And clayboard is made... Now, how do you pronounce Buda, just south of you?
You're a clayboard manufacturer? And
yeah,
Buda,
that's where they make clayboard.
Terry mentioned how important the idea is. Well, look at the idea behind this image. There's more that going on there than just 2 Indians on horseback. They're reacting and storytelling in a way as they look. Their imaginations are going where our imaginations are going as they look at the buffalo. So they're looking at, there's a whole lot going on,
Yeah,
a whole lot
there's
of
a lot
story
going
going on in that
there.
image. And see how he's grouped the two images. He's got the horses kind of overlapping each other, and the two braves doing it, and they're even overlapping the buffalo cloud formation in the sky. And so, and look how the value pattern is so coherent, so distinct. If you squint your eyes, you can tell what it is just by their silhouettes, those black
And it's
masses.
like, and it's like the sun is only hitting on their, like their shoulders and their heads. The rest of it
So
in shadow.
where the center of interest is, so the darkest darks are hitting up against the lightest lights there in that composition. Terry orchestrates these things very carefully, and you can see how he does it from the get-go, from his very tiny sketches that he knocks off in such a short time. Makes us all jealous. But he was under pressure all those years, having to draw in
New York Times.
room, and the New York Times lock him in a room and say, we want to see your sketch in 30 minutes, and we may or may not give you your check.
I've got a little this is one I did 3 years ago, and this is on canvas.
Okay, hold it still and take it back just a little. Okay, good. Okay.
Now,
yes.
We went to the powwow, the Choctaws powwow, and when there's like an occasion like a powwow or, some real special occasion, all the women, this is like a traditional Choctaw dress. And
beautiful.
This is like, if went to a party and you wore like a really fancy dress, well, these are their fancy dresses, and they have the aprons, and they have patterns all over them. And like she said, the diamond is symbolic of the diamondback rattlesnake. But, so I get a different look when I paint on canvas than when I paint on panel. Still acrylic.
How would you put it in words what the difference is between canvas and board?
The canvas, when I blend the colors, it looks more, you get a smoother blend, you get like a softer panel. You're painting like maybe one layer and then another layer on top of it. All the brush strokes and everything. With this, the blend is, and your eye kind of blends it when it's on panel. On canvas, you get like a smooth blend, and you can just blend it with brush. So,
like the old masters used to paint with oil and canvas. It's a beautiful piece, and I know how it must look right there in your studio.
You should go to a powwow sometime, because
I've been to several, but I never thought of taking. I actually went to research a book illustration about Quanah Parker, but I didn't come up with a masterwork like you're painting there.
Powwows are fun, because at the Choctaw powwow we go to, there's like there's different tribes that come from all over the country to go to the Choctaw powwow, and I mean, they've all got on all of their, their regalia and everything, and just all of the clothing and it's a great place to do some sketching or to take photographs. If you take photographs, you need to go up and ask them first if you can take their photograph.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Because
it's an important tip.
A lot of the people, sometimes they think that you're going to copy their clothing, because they spend a lot of money on the clothing and making, they're not costumes, it's their regalia, and it's like the tribal clothing that they wear, and
it's almost like intellectual property.
It is, yeah, because each person is different. And so if you just say like, can I take a photo of you, I want to do some drawings, or do some paintings. Most of the times they just say, sure,
Very important. The comments are coming in and the thank yous are pouring and tumbling in. But I'm going to read you a mix of thank yous and questions.
Okay.
Diana is saying, I love this painting. Are prints available?
No.
Diane says,
I can get a print of it. I mean, I can have prints made. I don't have any, right here. But
you're doing these for the love of painting.
yeah, and then I enter them in fine art shows and try to win some
and you were there
prizes.
for support for Leslie,
Yeah.
who was doing her research. They're asking for your reference. Do you paint from photos or from a combination of photos and memory? And you've kind of been telling us this tonight. You're doing all of the above.
If I'm doing something historical like that James Madison Hemmings, I'm trying to find photos. When I worked on that book, I contacted the librarian at Monticello, the clothing expert at Monticello, and the historian at Monticello to ask them questions to make sure that I was getting things right. Because the clothing had to be right for the boys to be wearing and for Sally Hemings to be wearing.
Sure.
If I'm just doing, I've done some, fiction books that are just kind of fun books. On that, I just make it up.
I've seen your thumbnails for other stories, and I
just make it
knocking
up.
them off out of your head. All that drawing you did in elementary school, high school.
Yeah.
What was your teacher's name again?
Mrs. Homer.
Drawing those things in charcoal.
Yeah. Her son was a sculptor, and he was in he lived in Florence, Italy, and he was a sculptor over there.
Oh my gosh. Chris is saying, thanks, Terry. See you at an SCBWI meeting. Aggie says, I'm going to start playing with acrylics again, and definitely the textures, and sharing with twin baseball art lover boys up the street. Okay, so you got her painting baseball pictures. Chris Mix says, thanks for sharing your art and process with us. The critiques were very insightful. Thank you, Terry. Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Mark, for providing this. Somebody commented about all the work you put into getting ready for us and was so appreciative. I lost the quote here. Aggie saying, Black, Crow, Micmac, French, Irish, Scottish, your basic mutt. I'm happy to see First Nation represented. Thank you. And Diane says, which do you prefer? Clayboard is much smoother. I guess what would you say to that? It's kind of a
I like working on the clayboard. I used to just paint on gesso panels.
Mm-hmm.
And I won this clayboard. I entered an art show and I got a prize. And they sent me about 8 clayboards. And so I've been using those. And I've never worked on it before. And when I started working on it, I really liked it. And then especially when the painting's finished and you varnish it, because acrylic always, it's bright. It's just like oil paints. It's bright when you paint it. And when it dries, it flattens out. The colors flatten out. So you kind of paint with a little more intensity, the colors have to be a little more intense than what you're thinking,
It sounds like painting in gouache a little bit.
It is, yeah, because when it dries, it goes dull. It kind of the color flattens out a little bit. Use like a gloss varnish, and when I spray the varnish on it, the color pops back out. I do that on my picture book art too, because I paint it and then, it flattens out. And then once they're all done, then I'll varnish them and all the color pops right back out.
And it stays out for the reproduction that way. That's really good to know.
People they'll paint in acrylic, they'll paint in oil or gouache. And, you paint it when it's wet, you put it down and the color's like nice and bright. And then you come back a little bit later and it's dried and it's like, what happened to my bright colors,
Well, let down when that happens.
They'll come back once it's done, if you just spray it with gloss varnish.
It pays to understand your materials and how to use them
Yeah.
right, doesn't it?
And you got to make sure that everything is dry before you varnish it. Even my acrylics, I use the open acrylics and they will kind of say wet. I have to make sure that they're completely dry before I'll varnish anything. Because I can keep a palette of open acrylics. I keep them covered when I'm not painting in. I can keep that palette wet for like 2 weeks, where I just have to pull the cover off, and because I'll mix up certain colors for whatever I'm painting, and I want to keep those colors, so I just cover it up when I'm done, and it'll stay wet for 2 weeks.
we can all relate to that, needing to keep those colors and not throw them
Yeah, and
down
it
the
also
sink.
saves money on paint too, you know,
Yeah,
because
good
I
point.
don't use as much paint. I don't have to do paint, you know, like squirt out new paint every day.
Janelle is saying, thank you for all of the information and time and effort. This is great information. And Diane wants a print of the Indians on horseback. And if you're not willing to do that for her, she wants a postcard. Are they available on postcards? So that
I can always get a print made of it. There's a guy that make a print for me. So
well, you can, Diane. You'll just have to get in touch with Terry about that if you want to purchase a print,
you can get in touch with
something
me.
like that from Stacy. Says, I'm very inspired. Catherine Power says, thanks for the great session and helpful critique of my illustration. Diane says, love being in your virtual studio. Thanks for all the prep. And Chris says, I need to get going. Good night, everyone. Good night, Chris. Thanks. You know, Terry and I could sit here and talk for another 3 hours just for fun, but we're not going to do that to Terry, are we? We're going to let him go to bed. This replay will be up automatically as soon as Terry and I end the broadcast, and then I'll edit it and trim it down to a manageable time.
Okay.
And it'll be in the, and we'll send out the links to the edited versions. But Terry, thank you. This has been just a real joy and so much fun. And it does feel like we've been hanging out with you late at night in your studio.
Yeah.
We just didn't get the painting.
I usually work at this time of night.
A lot of illustrators work deep.
Whenever I'm working on a book, I'm usually working at this time of night. So
you took time away from your night painting to be with us, and we really appreciate it. We'll all have to go out and get your books.
They can, yeah. If they have any questions, they can get in touch with me. Just, you know.
That's very.
I always answer emails. So.
You're opening up a Pandora's box. Luckily, we're an intimate, small group, so you won't get inundated. But that's really sweet. And go check out Terry's website, guys, and order a couple of his books for Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And particularly that James Madison. Boy, it sounds like a humdinger for the elementary schools, and a fascinating story and masterful artwork. My gosh. And you gave us a privileged glimpse into all of that and your process tonight, Terry. So thank you. I'm going to stop the broadcast, guys. And Terry, hang on just for a second with me on the Hangout, but I'll stop the broadcast and say goodnight. So next in December, did I lose my sheet? December 13th with Len Smith, animator Len Smith, who is Len is part of our group, Terry, and he's been an animator ever since the early Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Wow.
All the way through to Roger Rabbit, and he was one of the chief animators on the Toontown sequence in Roger Rabbit, and he's going to talk about how an animator brings his skills to the so we'll send you a link to that session in case you're
that'll be good.
Bored sitting at home. But all right, good night, everybody, and thanks again for tuning in.
Well, thanks.
Catch you on the next one.